K-Push class, this is question number 5 review from Unit 2. Why did the Articles of Confederation fail? Simple question. Articles of Confederation were so weak they made my knees weak. Alright, that was a bad joke, but I'm going to go with it anyways. Alright, why did the Articles of Confederation fail? Alright, first off, a few things to include. First form of government, weaknesses, 100% needed to amend, no interstate trade regulation, no enforcement power, no standing army, no power to tax, and Shays Rebellion. The Articles of Confederation was our first form of government. That would be an essential thing to include in this answer. It was the government during the American Revolution and even for the beginning years after the American Revolutionary War. It had several weaknesses, though, because the new United States, the Patriots, during the Revolutionary War, hated the government of Great Britain so much because it was a strong central government, and they wanted to make and prevent anything that it did from doing the same thing to them as a new country. And so, even though they had several weaknesses, the new United States wanted it to be weak because they were afraid of another strong government taking over. So they had several problems and weaknesses that stopped it from being a strong government. For example, it needed 100% approval to amend. If they wanted to change it, to amend is to change it. If they wanted to make it better or add a law that changed the government, they had to have 100% of all the new states to approve of it. Second weakness is they wanted to have no interstate trade regulation. There wasn't any central government to regulate trade between states. So states would get into arguments over who was better. Then there was no enforcement power. Right? This goes along with no standing army. There's no army or no national police force to make sure people follow rules. They could pass a law, but there wasn't anything that was going to force people to follow it and made it very difficult to work. They had no power to tax, right? And taxes aren't fun. People don't like them. That's why they started the Revolutionary War. But without taxes, governments have a tough time doing anything. And then what ultimately proved the weakness and the downfall of the Articles of Confederation was Daniel Shay led a rebellion in Massachusetts. He didn't like that the state of Massachusetts was passing a new tax on the state farmers of Massachusetts, and so he leads a rebellion to protest against the state taxes of Massachusetts. And they refuse to pay them because Daniel Shay says, well, why are we forced to pay Massachusetts state taxes when we just fought a Revolutionary War? And so the state of Massachusetts has trouble putting down this rebellion because there is no standing army to be sent from the capital city of the United States at the time was in New York. And so this proves that, even though we don't like taxes, we need to have some security to prevent a rebellion from happening. Right? And so the Articles of Confederation was a good start, but it had many weaknesses and need to be replaced, and that's why they have a constitutional convention in question number 6.